Hi, welcome back to the 100 Days of Cloud FinOps with Hybr. In this episode and the upcoming episodes, we will talk more about the Cloud FinOps principle related to collaboration. Effective collaboration leads to positive outcomes. Collaboration in Cloud FinOps is not just an one-time effort. It's an ongoing, continuous improvement, striving to become more efficient, at the same time foster innovation. When the collaboration is done right, the teams exhibit positive accountable behaviors. They are very quick to acknowledge the reality. They take ownership to find solutions, and they feel that they are responsible to make things happen. Instead of waiting for somebody to tell what to do or finding opportunities to pass the ball to another person's court, in terms of blaming or waiting or coming up with excuses or telling that was not sure, none of that leads to positive outcome. A good collaboration sets everyone for success from the beginning and in an ongoing basis. There are various teams involved in Cloud FinOps to collaborate and work together. Starting from engineering to infra management, operations, finance, accounting, and procurement, the product owners, the business owners, and the management, there are various interdisciplinary collaborations happening to make the cloud effective for the business, to get the most return of value for every penny that is being spent in cloud. All these disciplines, all these various teams and the functional areas should work together with a sense of shared accountability in near real time to make effective utilization of resources, at the same time be able to innovate to gain the competitive advantage for the business. All the members of these various functional areas should work as a virtual team so that they can avoid any red tapes and issues that comes typically when there are boundaries. Clear goals and responsibilities are established in a really good collaborative teams so that the decisions are made really quickly in real time, so that the utilization, the effectiveness are all taken care then and there, instead of finding it as an after the fact issue. Within each of the functional areas such as engineering, operations, and so on, there are various disciplines. The team members fall under various disciplines. For example, in engineering, there are solution architects, cloud architects, infrastructure architects, various full stack development teams, test teams, UAT teams, and whatnot. Similarly, on operations, finance, in all these, each of these functional areas, there are various disciplines. So it is important to not create silos when it comes to the ability to collaborate. It's not just across the functional areas. It is important to realize within these functional areas there are various disciplines that the system, the collaboration design should take care of involving all the disciplines within each of those functional areas. Because it's not just enough to say the engineering should interact with the finance team, or the finance team should interact with engineering. It's also important to kind of set the responsibilities. For example, what would be the contribution from a cloud solution architect as well as a UAT tester from an engineering discipline. Because, for example, it would be the test team who will be able to validate or even identify sub-performing architectures or the way the application has been written. They can alert everybody in this virtual team about potential leak of resources or potential underutilization of the resources. So if you're not involving for example, the test team or the UAT teams, then you are basically going to find it after the application or the product goes live. So it's very important to have various disciplines within each of these teams involved from the get-go, so that your business and the product will utilize the cloud more effectively from the starting. As well as it's not just to set this at the start, as we talked about before. This process has to happen continuously. For every release, you have to validate that the application is performing to the optimal level, the infrastructure, the resources are utilized effectively in an ongoing basis, release after release, day after day. In addition to the disciplines, various disciplines within the functional areas, it is also important to realize or recognize that there are various responsibilities, like similar to a RACI matrix within these disciplines, because you are going to deal with a lot of team members, a lot of people. Their roles within the organization, within the functional areas, or within the single discipline itself, each one plays a different role. For example, a team member may be responsible for actually going and changing a SKU or updating a resource to certain tier or whatnot, but he has to get an approval from his manager or her manager before making the change. And such changes are typically consulted, or in fact sometimes it actually comes from a suggestion from a subject matter expert like cloud architect or an application architect, right? So the responsible person is team member, a manager is the accountable person, and the subject matter expert, the cloud architect, would be the consulted person. At the same time, the department head or the director will be informed, so that whatever is happening in the system, he or she is aware of these things are happening. So it's important to recognize and set clear responsibility roles and patterns for each of the team members involved in taking care of cloud infrastructure, the cloud cost, the value realization from the cloud spend. So the FinOps principle about collaboration is about setting up an effective mechanism, strategy, the mechanics to have the collaboration work effectively to produce positive outcomes in real time, in near real time. The collaboration has to happen with the idea to effectively utilize the resources, at the same time foster the innovation, so that your business and the company can still be able to innovate and lead in the market. And there are various functional teams involved in this collaboration effort, and there are various disciplines within these functional teams, as well as it is important to realize and set the RACI matrix or the responsibilities within these functional teams and the disciplines, so that everybody understands and clearly knows their contribution towards this effect. Thanks again for joining on this 100 days of Cloud FinOps with Hybr. In the upcoming episodes, we will see how Hybr helps with the collaboration efforts in an organization for driving the Cloud FinOps across various functional teams, disciplines, and how the Hybr enables kind of bringing everybody together into the single point of truth, so that all the teams and the members can collaborate effectively with each other. Thank you.